It's good to have you back for another day of Bible study as we are continuing on our journey through the outsiders. My name is Kevin Young, and I have the privilege of serving at Christ's Table as lead clergy. And we're so glad that you're spending time with us in this journey. Now, if you'd like to know more about Christ's Table, you can find out more by visiting that URL right up there, www.christstable.today. And if you'd like to know more about this study in particular, then you can visit the URL right there at the bottom of your screen, go.christstable.today/outsiders. There you'll find a PDF that you can download that is absolutely free, that it goes along with the entire journey of this study, 6 weeks, 24 days, where we are looking at 24 different outsiders from the religious worshiping community or outsiders in some other way. In the text of Scripture, most of those outsiders had an extremely positive impact. Some of those outsiders were cautionary tales, and a few of them were a bit of a mixed bag. And that's kind of where we're going to be at today, is looking at one that kind of is a mixed bag. So why don't we just go ahead and jump right in. Our text for today is going to come from Genesis chapter 33, and we're going to be in the first 20 verses of Genesis chapter 33. And in fact, I think it may well be the entire chapter, if I'm not wrong. But we're not going to probably make it through all of those verses, but we'll try to make it through the most important ones. What we have here in Genesis chapter 33 is we kind of have the conclusion of a story that's been going on for a long time. If you've ever heard of Jacob and Esau, brother against brother, then you are aware of some of the foundation of this story. If you're not, Jacob and Esau were brothers. They were essentially twins. Esau was born first. Jacob was born holding on to the foot of Esau as he came out. And so it was just by mere seconds and maybe luck that Esau was born first. And Jacob had a lot of problems. It seems as though he didn't like being the second, and in those days in a patriarchal society, being firstborn came with a lot of rights, came with a lot of inheritance, came with a lot of responsibilities, and Esau was very much looking forward to those things, except that Jacob wanted them. So he cooks up this plan in order to take away the birthright, in order to take away the inheritance, the blessing especially from the father, which was a very desired thing. And he succeeds in doing that. And as you can imagine, the one who deserved it, the brother Esau, was not very happy. And essentially, the story, that part, ends with Esau looking to kill Jacob. And so Jacob has to run. Now, we follow Jacob's story continuing on through Genesis after that. And we kind of depart Esau for a long time. Around 25 years, in fact, pass before Jacob and Esau meet again. And as you well know, the older that you get, sometimes relationships and conflicts between family or between people you were once close to mellow. Time sometimes heals wounds, but other times time incites and inflicts more wounds. Things go deeper. And so Jacob comes to this point where his ability to be self-sufficient is coming to an end. What I look at the story and see is that God has woven circumstances in order to bring Jacob to a point where he has to set wrongs in his life back to right. But Jacob is not perfect. And so what we see in that journey is Jacob still wrestling with what the right thing to do is and not always doing it. And in fact, if you read just before our text today, Jacob is literally wrestling. He's literally wrestling with an angel, wrestling with God himself, actually, in order to try to decide whether or not he's going to end up doing the right thing, or whether he's going to end up doing the thing that maybe the deep down inside of him part that doesn't want to do the right thing. Maybe it will get control. But Jacob eventually relents, reaches out from a distance to Esau, and they plan this meeting, but Jacob has absolutely no idea how this is going to go. He doesn't know where his brother's frame of mind is. Last time he knew, 25 years ago, his brother was intent on killing him, and now here is the opportunity. So Jacob looks up as he is making this journey to where Esau is. Not even still sure whether or not the father, Isaac, is still alive anymore. Jacob has completely kind of cut himself off from the rest of his family. But he looks up and he sees Esau coming with his 400 men. This is not good. Esau is not coming alone. Esau is coming with 400 men. So Jacob gets worried. He gets worried that his brother is going to enact upon him the vengeance that Jacob actually deserves. Esau has been forced to be an outsider for 25 years. That's a very long time to be forced to be an outsider because your brother was selfish. So what does Jacob do? Jacob takes the children and divides them among his two wives, Leah and Rachel, and then his servant wives. And then he puts the servant wives and the children at the front. Presumably, the most expendable. Jacob. What are you doing here, buddy? You may be the one whom God has blessed because of your lying, cheating heart. Stole it from your brother Esau. You may be the insider and the one that the story follows, but you are acting deplorable. And so many insiders act in deplorable ways, even in the face of righteousness at the hands of those who are outside. They would much rather hold on to their position and hold on to their pride and integrity rather than admit wrong and accept consequences. So Jacob, rather than being in the front and accepting the consequences that may be coming due to him, puts the women and the children first before him, maybe hoping to soften, slow down. But he puts the servant wives and their children first. He puts Leah and her children next, and then Rachel and Joseph last, and then Jacob goes on. Here we go. As he approaches his brother, it seems as though Jacob has decided to now stand at the front of the line. This is bold of Jacob. He's leading them now. Jacob was always a lead from the back kind of guy, a push from the back kind of guy. Protect your flank. But now it seems as though maybe there has been a change of heart in Jacob. Let's move to the front. He bows to the ground 7 times before his brother Esau. And here's the moment. What's Esau going to do? Esau runs to meet him, and Esau embraces him. He throws his arms around his neck, and he kisses him, and they both weep. This may be a phenomenal moment to just simply take a pause and reflect on the power of time to heal wounds. Sometimes time is what is necessary to bridge gaps between those who are insiders and those who are outsiders. We wish it weren't so, but we are broken human creatures. We treat each other in very deplorable ways oftentimes. If you're an outsider, if you have been wounded by someone who is on the inside of a community that you should have been a part of or that you were a part of, and you have been pushed to the outside, as hard as it is to accept and to wait, it may well be that time is what is necessary in order for someone's heart to soften or be softened enough by God to see that whenever we treat others in this way, we actually become the outsiders. I think that in this journey, Jacob becomes something of an outsider, certainly in his relationship with his brother, but it was his fault. He was the one who pushed his brother away, who lied and stole from his brother. But his brother from the outside relents, forgives, runs to him, and hugs him. If you are an outsider, I cannot fully express to you the power of forgiveness and reconciliation from where you stand on the outside. It collapses walls. So Esau looks at the women and children and he goes, who are all these people who are with you? And Jacob answers, these are the children that God has so graciously given to me over these 25 years. Then the servant wives come forward with their children and they bow before Esau. And then next Leah and her children, and they bow before Esau. And then finally Joseph and Rachel come forward and bow before him as well. This is positionally a sign of respect, and it's also a sign of understanding, I think, what was done to Esau and accepting the responsibility, but also accepting the place that they should be in, and that is in that society, subservient, secondary to Esau. For a guy like Jacob, this is quite the change. And so what were all the flocks and the herds that I met as I came? Esau asked, and Jacob replies, they are a gift to you. Notice the language, my lord, in order to secure your friendship. Esau answers, my brother, I have plenty. Keep what you have for yourself. But Jacob insists, no, if I have ever found favor with you, please accept this gift from me, and what a relief to see your friendly smile. It is like seeing the face of God. So please take this gift that I brought you, for God has been very gracious to me, and I have more than enough. And because Jacob insisted, Esau finally accepts the gift. Well, said Esau, let's be going. It's been 25 years, buddy, but I'll lead the way. So the text goes ahead and continues on from there. But what I want us to see in this text today is the power that you can have in bridging relationships and by bringing people who have wounded and caused trauma and done evil on the inside, how the way you act and react and your patience and your response can flip upside down who is truly inside and who is truly outside. And I think that this shows us, especially for those who are standing on the outside of communities, that God can and does change character, and that God can and does overcome hostility. If you have been harmed by a religious community, if you have gone through and endured trauma at the hands of those who name the name of Jesus, if you have been pushed to the outside for any reason at all, rather than embraced and loved as the child of God that you are, I want you to know that God can overcome that. Hold on. Hang on. Even from the outside, keep acting with integrity, living in truth, and working to continue to transform and mature your spirit and your strength. But do not give up. It may or may not take 25 years. Hopefully not. But hostility can be overcome, and change can be brought to bear even on the most difficult relationships and circumstances. Even from the outside, you have an incredible amount of power to change the future. Until tomorrow.